Joined by my friend Dan Mahoney with the Oklahoma City Thunder. This is your seventh film festival, deadCenter. Why didn't y'all start doing that?
Well, in 2018, when Mr. Thunder, Nick Collison, was getting ready to retire, we approached him and said we would love to kind of capture your final 2 weeks in your career. Great career with one organization. That's very rare. And Nick agreed to that. Once we got into it and we were following him around, we really felt like, this is going to be good. And this could be a film. And we've had a great relationship since the beginning in 2008 with deadCenter. Mostly it was a marketing partnership. We'd promote them. We would be as a community partner. We definitely wanted to support them. But then we thought, we could have some content to provide to deadCenter. And that it just sort of all joined. We made the decision. Matt Tumbleson, who's our VP of basketball communications, he and I kind of run OKC Thunder Films. We just felt like that level of content, the time we put into it, the creativity we put into it, and we produce a lot of content for our social media, for our website, but these are special projects. And we just said we can have, and no other NBA team is doing it, we can have a division called OKC Thunder Films, and we can really create these high-end productions. So Mr. Thunder was in 2018. We premiered it out on the lawn at Myriad Gardens. This is prior to Scissortail Park. And then we did an animated short with Paul George, a 5-minute animation, which was terrific. And then we've done them ever since, and we're very proud of them. We put a lot of work into them. We all have day jobs with the Thunder. Right. Matt runs the basketball PR side. I manage the broadcasting and social media, and then our videographer and director, Michael Zubak, is our creative lead on our video side throughout the organization. And Nick Gallo and Paris Lawson, who are our sideline reporters on TV, they're producers with this. So it's a labor of love, it's a labor of creativity that we really enjoy the process and obviously the product.
Before I get to the film, I just wonder, you've watched, between you and me, we're like 275 years old, right? We've seen when downtown Oklahoma City, nobody was there.
Right.
And we've seen in the last several years, about the same time you guys were starting movies, we've seen the film brigade happen. We've seen, now they're shooting movies like Twisters right downtown. Mm-hmm. As a journalist, a longtime journalist now with the Thunder, are you amazed at what has happened with film in this state in just this last decade?
I am. It's been terrific, and it's the result of things like deadCenter that for 24 years has helped support the film industry. And then you have a player like Prairie Surf that comes in and puts great resources and time and talent into productions and attracts major productions, as you mentioned. And Prairie Surf's only going to get better. Obviously, they're going to be moving from their current facility. But they've known that all along, and they support it, and they've got a great future to be able to be one of the many players, but a key player, central player in the entire film industry. And then what you have too is a whole generation that is growing up watching all that. And these are young filmmakers who say, I don't have to go to LA, I don't have to go to New York, I don't have to go to Austin. I may not even Albuquerque. Albuquerque's become a big center for filmmaking. I can stay in Oklahoma and produce these films, and it all it all adds to the product, and so these young filmmakers that are coming up are seeing Oklahoma City is a pretty cool place to be to produce films, and there's a vehicle for it. It's not just deadCenter; it's all sorts of vehicles, and that's the beauty of it.
Your fan base, it's more than just Oklahoma City, right?
Absolutely.
And so you have the film, and we saw the vote on the new arena recently. It has, to me, it was an indication of what you as a company do, investment in communities and our culture in this state. Had to be rewarding when you see that sort of thing. So other things that maybe people aren't aware of that the Thunder are doing, not in Oklahoma City, but all over the state, and the return that you get with people may not even be basketball fans, but we're hitting yes because these people give back to the community. Anything we really don't see a lot about that you're doing?
Well, first of all, I would add to your premise, yes, it's because of the confidence that the public has in the Thunder. But I think it's also following all the years of successful MAPS votes. It's a confidence in government and confidence in the business community. It's how the business community works together with government, with the nonprofit community. And what people have seen through the course of MAPS and similar projects is results. And I think it's the result of a vision that people have for downtown Oklahoma City. And it's hard to vision 5 years ahead of time, 10 years ahead of time. It's hard to envision technology. I mean, we have technology changing every day, much less what do you do for 5 years. But to your question about, the confidence in the Thunder, from day one, it's been very important to our organization, from Clay Bennett on down, that we are significant contributors to the community. This is a community that supports us through buying tickets, through watching games on TV, to wearing the Thunder gear. I think there's a great pride that we're in an NBA market, but it takes an investment. It takes a financial investment from people. It takes an investment of time, investment of the heart to be able to support this team. We're very busy in the community. We give away books. We have great community partners like American Fidelity that supports our education platforms, Devon Energy, OG&E. They all really support these great things we do in the community. There are things we do behind the scenes, but we do them behind the scenes for a reason. We don't talk about them because, but we do like people to know that our players, our team, our organization has been very supportive of the community, and we want to be very impactful. And we don't do things just to check the box. We like to be impactful. And so for every public thing you hear about, we're probably doing something privately.
One last question before we get to the movie. The way things are on the schedule, when do you think you'll be debuting in the new arena?
Well, currently the plan and the hope, and we're certainly so far along this track, to open the building in the summer of 2028, in time for the 28-29 season.
It's not long.
It's not long, and it's 4 years, and that's normal construction time. The process is moving with the city we have a development agreement. We have a time frame. There'll be architects chosen at some point here before too long. There'll be a contractor. And we'll be moving along and getting this thing done. And it'll be something everybody can be proud of. It's going to be a great facility for the heart of downtown Oklahoma City, and we're excited about it.
Let's talk about Bismack. It's an interesting story. A lot of people probably don't even know where his home country is. Southern half of Africa, was a Belgian colony. A lot of bad things have happened over there. He comes into the NBA, a decade or so ago. He's in Oklahoma City. You do this film about him, the challenges in his life. It's an incredible story, what he's dedicated his own personal life to do. Tell us how that he came to be with Oklahoma City and how he came to be subject of this movie.
Well, as we said, we do a project for deadCenter every year, and we were working on another one. And then in February, the Thunder acquired Bismack, and Matt Tumbleson, who's my counterpart on the basketball side and my co-executive producer on Thunder Films, contacted me and said, Sam Presti, our general manager, knows Bismack's story, and said this would be a tremendous Thunder film. Matt sat down with Bismack before we moved forward to make sure he was comfortable with it. He absolutely was. He was very excited about it and enthused for us to do this. But also what was offered to us as part of this is this sort of treasure trove, and I mean like multi-terabytes of footage of him visiting the Congo, him growing up in the Congo, and it's like 350 hours of footage that we went through. But other than Bismack, who is obviously the star of the film, this footage is truly a star of the film, and that we had access to it. And this footage was on hard drives throughout the world. There was a hard drive in France, there was a hard drive in Serbia, there was a hard drive in Florida. I mean, and so we got access to it all, and it's very high-res, high-quality footage that really helped make this what it is. Bismack's story and Bismack himself are truly the centerpiece of the film, but this footage truly helped bring it all together, and we're excited about it. And Bismack was like, yeah, absolutely, do it. And what we end up with for him, and he has his foundation that does great work, and people will see in the film, that he's built schools, he's had basketball camps, he built a hospital for his father. He gave up his entire NBA salary in Phoenix 1 year to build a hospital in honor of his father. His father passed away of COVID in 2021. So yeah, it's one of those things where you can be working on something, but if something better comes along and you can pivot, you do it. And that's what happened here.
What do you think he would say in terms of, if he were here right now, say to us, this is what I want people to understand about this documentary. Here's what I hope, how it impacts the community.
Well, I think he'd want people to know that when you have a microphone for change, you need to use it. And he did, as an NBA player. And especially in the Congo, where he is revered. He's a superhero in the Congo. He wouldn't say that, but I can tell you that. And he made a decision when he was drafted. Of course, after he was drafted in 2011, came the lockout, which meant it was like 6 months before he actually was able to play. So during that time, he stayed connected, he trained, and we tell that part of the story. But he was 19 years old when he started his NBA career. And he said at that age, I think a more mature 19-year-old than either you or I were at 19. And he, people tell him, you're too young. You can't do this. You're not ready to start a foundation, and you got to go be a player for a while. And he's like, no, I have this opportunity to do these great things. I'm going to be making money. I have, as I said, a microphone for change. I'm going to use it. And I think that's what he would want people to come out of this with, to see that if you have opportunities to make change and help people, take advantage of them.
Yeah, the stories, you hear it all the time, the stories about athletes, they get a lot of money, get a lot of recognition, they become very selfish. I mean, this is a purpose-driven life. A guy who doesn't toot his own horn.
He's a special guy. I don't know Biz that well, to be honest with you. He just joined us in February. But meeting him and interacting with him during this, I'm struck by his humility, and really his heart. I mean, he wants to make a difference, and it's genuine, and it's very inspiring. And again, somebody who was 19 at the time, and people told him don't do it, and he just basically said, no, I'm going to do it, and it was the right thing. And the other thing we tell in this story is the relationship with his father and his parents, neither of whom his mother and father did not necessarily want him leaving the Congo to go on this journey to try to make the NBA. He went through Yemen, he went through Spain, he played in those areas. Finally, he was up for the draft when he was in Spain, and he got drafted. And so a lot of people told him he couldn't do things. His parents included said, you really shouldn't do this with this NBA journey. But if you're going to do it, promise us that you'll come back if it doesn't work out, which he agreed to. But he did it anyway because he had a dream, and his first dream was to move forward with an NBA career, which he did. And then the next dream immediately after that was, how can I give back to my country and help people? And the other part of this is, we've told the stories before. We've told the story of Stephen Adams, who has created great opportunities for kids in New Zealand to get college education, come over to the States, get scholarships, play basketball. Stephen, in his case, made the NBA. But what Bismack also is focused on is, yes, those opportunities. But for the large majority of kids are not going to make the NBA and probably not going to get scholarships. So what can we do in the Congo to make it a place where people want to stay and have the ability to stay? That's why the focus on education, and then, of course, the focus on the hospital to help that part of the community.
So people are going to be getting on the Google machine this weekend, figure out where Congo is, and the story of Bismack. It's really good. Dan Mahoney, Oklahoma City Thunder. Thanks for all y'all do to the community and the state.
Appreciate it.
See you soon.
Thanks.
Can I get the trailer?
Yeah.